Okay, this is video 2. So if you haven't watched video 1, please go back and start at the beginning. So we left off here, and I was just showing you this chart. So the price floor here is the amount that's being supplied. Here's the amount that is demanded, and this is our surplus, our excess supply. So let's take a look at an example of when this happens in the United States. So in the United States, an example of the price floor is the minimum wage, which many of you guys enjoy as new employees into our labor force. So minimum wage is the lowest rate per hour that a worker can receive as income. And this helps workers with jobs as they will receive a higher wage. This is good for you because they can't just pay you $2 an hour. However, the quantity of labor demanded will decline, leading to more unemployment. So this is the amount that is being supplied, right? Here's what we're charging for minimum wage, but this is the amount that they want to pay us for it. So it's going to adjust. That means that less companies are going to hire less people because they have to pay them more, and that costs them more money. So while minimum wage is great for us as workers, it is a problem obviously for companies because now their cost is greater having to pay. So an example of a price floor would be minimum wage. Let's go to so let's take a look. So the line at PF represents, so I'm looking for PF, and this represents what? And then we're looking at the line at PE, and this represents what? And then the line between points A and B, so this green line right here, what does that represent? So if you don't have the answers yet, I suggest you pause it because I'm going to give it to you right now. So the line at P of F right here, this is representing the price floor that is put on the market, okay? The line at P of E represents the price at equilibrium. So this is the price that it's set at, but this is the equilibrium price. The equilibrium price is $6, but they're saying that minimum wage is $9, and so this right here is our surplus. So this many workers are now demanding jobs if they're being paid $9 an hour, but companies are only hiring this many people when the price is $9 an hour. So demand, 14 people now say, hey, I want your job at $9 an hour, but the company says we can only hire 2 people when the minimum wage is $9 an hour. Let's look at the other side, the price ceiling. So price ceiling is the maximum price that a good or service can be sold for. Governments impose price ceilings below the equilibrium price. So it's kind of weird because the floor is above, but think of it as the minimum amount, right? Whereas the ceiling in this is below the equilibrium price, but this is the most they can charge for it. So the quantity demanded will exceed the quantity supplied, and shortages will result. So with a price ceiling, we get shortages. So here's an example, okay? So this is the amount that is being demanded. This is the amount that is being supplied. Because we have excess demand, we have shortages, okay? And we'll talk you through this on the next slide and give you an example. So here's an example of a price ceiling in the United States. Rent control here in the US. And this is debated a lot here in California and especially here in San Diego because you guys probably know this, rent prices are high here. So some cities set a maximum price that can be charged for rent. This is good for people who cannot afford rent otherwise, but because the quantity demanded is higher, a shortage of apartments will result. Builders then don't have incentive to build new apartment buildings because if I can't make a lot of money as a builder, then why the heck am I going to build another building, right? And here's what it looks like on a graph. So let's talk through that. So if the government comes in and says that we can only charge $300 for rent, there's going to be 4 apartments that are supplied, okay? If there is, but the demand when the rent is $300 is at 14. So now we have a shortage. 14 people want apartments, but only 4 of them are going to be able to get them at $300. So that's going to cause that shortage. So here is an example with this fake city called Big City. Big City has a price ceiling of $750 on rent. The price ceiling means that there will be what? More or less in the supply of rental spaces. Landlords will not raise rent prices as demand increases because they what? And according to the graph, rent would stabilize if the price ceiling stabilized at what point if the price ceiling did not exist. So if you don't have the answers, you may want to pause because I'm going to give them to you now. So we have a price ceiling of $750. So the price ceiling means that there will be is a shortage or a surplus in the supply, and that will be a shortage because demand is way over here, but supply is way over here. Landlords will not raise rent prices as demand increases because they can't. With the price ceiling, they can't raise prices even though the demand is higher. They can't go up. So according to the graph, rent would stabilize at right here at equilibrium at a price of $1,000 with a quantity of 10 being supplied if the price ceiling did not exist. So that is it for my lecture. If you did not understand something, if you need to rewatch it, please do. When I come back, so on Monday, what I expect to see done from you is you should have gotten the 2 worksheets from whomever the sub is on, make sure you got those. They're sitting up on my front counter, and then also that you have taken and passed the quiz on this. Please feel free to send me some emails if you have any questions or concern. Otherwise, have a wonderful day. Bye.